Welcome back, friends, and gather round for episode number 40 of Simply Walking into Mordor. As always, guys, my name is Nauglir, and a special welcome to you if this is your first time watching with us. Episode 40, guys. We have come a long way. We're level 35. That means only 80 levels to go. No, it'll be fun on the way to 115. But guys, I'm pretty chuffed that we've made it to episode 40. Obviously, 50 is a bit of a bigger milestone, I should say. And I'm working on a little project for episode 50. So hopefully looking forward to that. But yes, episode 40 today. And guys, we are riding east. We are riding towards Todogathir, the ranger who is guarding the entrance to Evendim. Resuming our questing after our little detour to defend the prancing pony in that skirmish that we did last episode. Let's dodge this Oathbreaker soldier. We're going to be dealing with some Oathbreakers this episode. And Orchalway has sent us out to Todogathir to see how things are going in the east of Path Duial. And so off we go. Now also today we're going to be answering another question from the comments section. Another one from Jason. He's full of questions. I love it, Jason. Keep them coming. This one is about virtues, and so we're going to be talking about that today as we do our quests for Todogathir and beyond. I think Todogathir's quests don't take very long, so we should be able to finish them fairly quickly. Now, I think we're going to take the cloak that looks the best out of all these, because none of them are very good for us. They're not very good cloaks. No, I kind of like the one that's designed for the champion, the fighter's cloak. That looks pretty nice. So let's take that one. It has got more armor than what we're using, but less might, more vitality. No, I don't think we'll be using it. We will take it though. So we'll complete that quest, and let's just keep that down there. Building our outfit. All right. We have 3 quests to do. That will complete this meta quest. Todogathir, payment of an ancient debt. Defeat the Oathbreaker commander. Okay. Unfulfilled duty. Defeat Tomb-Robbers at Ost Heryn. Can do. And writs of honor. Collect writs of honor from the Oathbreakers. So Ost Heryn was a city of the old kingdom of Arnor. And when Fornost was being attacked, the men of Ost Heryn did not answer the call, and so they were cursed. And now they are Oathbreakers, much like the dead that became the army of the dead in the Lord of the Rings. Well, it seems like we've been ambushed here, or perhaps some mobs have just not loaded in for us. Let's see if I don't know if we're going to be able to do any damage by doing this. This seems a bit strange, but we are taking quite a bit of damage, but there are no mobs. Oh, here we go. Okay, they've loaded in, and there are lots of them. Oh dear. Deary me. We did do damage to them though, so that's good. We were fighting them that entire time. That was weird. Oh, wow. I was lost for words and just had no idea what was going on there. But it seems as though the enemies are like bugged out in here or something. This is weird. I've never seen anything like this before in LotRO. This is so weird. There should be enemies like right here. Oh, I can see some. Okay, but there are still some more invisible ones. This is proving difficult, guys. It might be just like one cell of the map that is messed up at this point in time. Yeah, look, they come out just as we leave that cell. Okay, the horn's coming in handy there. I think we'll be right. We should be able to bring them down quick enough so that we don't die. He says he almost dies. Oh no! Oh, that's not really our fault. We can just use revive for free there. Come back to life. That's not really our fault. They were invisible, but it looks like dying and loading back in has loaded this cell again, and we can see the enemies once more. Okay, bit of a random detour there, but seems like we're back on track. Okay, here's the Oathbreaker commander that we're looking for. So we will get into single target mode. We're going to get Ferocious Strikes. This is a new skill in our next trait line. We're definitely going to get it because it is a massive hit. So we require 5 fervor to use it. and it removes 4. And it just does 3 massive hits. This is the Raging Blades of Single Target Champion. So let's see if we can build up a bunch of fervor and use it. One more fervor. There we go. There we go. Look at all that damage. Huge amounts of damage there. Alright, we'll be using that quite a lot. Let's interrupt that. Don't want it to go invisible. Don't have to put up with all these Oathbreakers going invisible. Okay, and we've got our first Rid of Honor from him as well. Let's use Ferocious Strikes again. This should finish the scale. Yeah, look at that. With a devastating hit. Okay. Well, that was a strange occurrence with those enemies not spawning in. That's alright though. We are back on track, and back onto the topic of today's episode, virtues. So yes, virtues, if you don't remember, they are a type of trait in LotRO, and they are uniform across all the classes and races, so unlike racial or class traits, they are for everyone. Everyone can use any virtue they like, and you gain them. So here's the virtue panel to show you. There's, I think, 17, if I remember correctly. There are 17 different virtues to choose from, and you can slot 5 of them on your character. If you're not VIP, you'll have to unlock some of those slots, I'm pretty sure, with LotRO points. But yeah, once you've unlocked all the 5, you can have 5 different virtues equipped, and you can rank them up and unlock them by completing Slayer deeds on landscape. Alright, so we have virtues, and they give you passive stat increases. Just switch back to single target here. They give you passive stat increases for your character, and you rank them up by doing Slayer deeds, exploration deeds, landscape deeds, pretty much. So regional deeds, or sometimes even, what are they called? Instance deeds. Right? So if we have a look at our deed log, we can see in Eriador, let's take Breland for example, if we finish finding all the locations in the Barrow Downs, we would get a point of patience. Now it says patience 1, that's because currently we have 0 patience. Take that pun with what you will. We have 0 patience, and so it will give us 1 rank of patience, putting us to patience 1. We might have other deeds that put us up to patience, give us extra patience, and so it's not like we have to get them in order. We don't have to get the one that says number 1, and then the other one that says number 2 next. In fact, if we have a quick look, if we put the set rewards here, we can actually see, yeah, the Ruins of Breland also gives patience, and so it also says patience 1. And that just means they both give 1 rank of patience. If we ranked up our patience to level 1, it would then say patience 2, because the rank that we would unlock by completing that deed would be patience 2, obviously. Right, so hopefully that makes sense with virtues, how to unlock them, what they do. Just have a couple of examples of what they do. We have Charity here. This is one that we've got equipped. It gives us resistance, physical mitigation, and non-combat power regen. If you don't know what those stats do, I would suggest going back through the episodes. I explain them over the first maybe 25 episodes or so. We explain them all, maybe a bit more than that. So we go through the whole character sheet in order, all the stats. Basically, they're going to give us some passive stat increases. I'm just looking for some more Oathbreakers, and they are troublingly hard to find. I just mount up and have a look for some more Oathies as we speak about virtues. Now, Jason's question was in 2 parts. Firstly, he asked, is it worth it to do your Slayer deeds and exploration deeds and all that, and unlock your virtue points as you level up? Or is it not worth it and just wait and do it at max level? That's the first part of the question. And I'll answer that first. The answer, in my opinion, is no. It's not worth it to do your deeds and grind them all out when you're not max level. Now, obviously, that's not me saying you really shouldn't. There's no real reason why you shouldn't. It is a bit slower, obviously. You do more damage when you're high levels, and you have more capability to defeat the enemies in more areas. So you have more options about which Slayer deeds you'd like to complete to get the virtue points that you're after. But if you're in the mood for deeding, I don't know, I've never met someone who was in the mood for doing deeds, but if you are, then feel free. There's no issue with doing them early. it just seems to not make as much of a difference at lower levels, because we're talking about stats that aren't going to make heaps of a difference when you're leveling up. Now, here's a little caveat onto that answer. If you're wanting to do some Tier 2 challenge content at the level that it was designed for, let's say, for example, the Tower of Orthanc instances at level 75, they're not scalable, they don't go up to 115, and they can be done at a challenge level. And so you could just wait till you level 115, finish them all off really easily, but if you want the challenge and you want to do them authentically as they were designed, and I might recommend that, they are very well designed instances in my opinion, then you might indeed want to grind your deeds and finish off those Slayer and Exploration deeds so that you can have virtues that are up to Tier 2 Challenge Standard. Now, what do I mean when I say Tier 2 Challenge Standard? Pretty much maxed out. But this brings us to the second part of Jason's question, which was, how do you know which 5 virtues are the best for your class? So, we've got on the first part of the question. It's not really worth it unless you really want to do challenge content, but it also matters which you choose. And this is the second part of the question. How do we know which is the best 5 for our class? Alright, let's defeat this archer and then we'll have a bit of a chat about different virtues and what they do. Because the answer is a bit simpler than you might think. Okay, I think the final one's just over here. We'll just finish off this one, and on our way back to Torridith, we will... Oh, let's not let him go invincible. We will discuss different virtues. Okay. Got on our horse, bring up the virtue panel. Okay, here we are. So, we have heaps of different ones to choose from. Now, as a champion, let's use the champion as an example since it's in front of us, we know that our main stat to use is Might. It gives us heaps of damage, it helps us out offensively. Now, Might seems to be the logical choice. If we can find a virtue that gives us Might, then surely we would equip that virtue. So let's have a look around. Discipline gives us Might, so we might go with that one. Fortitude gives us Might, so we might go with that one. What else? There's one or two others, I think. Valor gives you Might. I think that might be it. So we've got 3 virtues there that have Might on them. And you would say, well, surely since Might is our main stat, we should equip those 3 virtues, no questions asked. It's not quite as simple as that. And in fact, it might even be simpler than you think. So that would involve different deeds to grind with every character. Hunters, you would go for agility, and so you'd go for determination, you'd go for... Where's other agility ones? I think Mercy has agility, and there's one other one, Tolerance has agility. So they all have... There's 3 with each main stat. There's Will on Wisdom, Confidence, and one of the other ones somewhere. Not quite sure which other one has Will. Maybe there isn't one. There might not even be one. Another one has Will. Oh, there we go. Idealism. Right. So there are 3 with each main stat on them. There's quite a few with Vitality and Fate on them. So that's not really too much of a worry. But these main stat upgrades are quite small. So we're back here at Torridith now. I just might talk about these for a little bit. So we see that 1 rank of Discipline gives us 9 Might. And if I remember correctly, a maxed out Discipline virtue will give somewhere just shy of 200 Might. Now, that seems quite a lot, but if you consider gear at max level, you're getting way more than 200 Might per piece of gear. And so equipping a whole virtue slot just to get that extra little bit of Might is not the best choice, in my opinion, for a champion, or for any class for that matter. In fact, virtues are actually really valuable and can be used for different things. And specifically, I'm talking about 2 stats in particular. And these stats are Tactical Mitigation and Resistance. Now, these are 2 defensive stats, you notice. And so they're not going to really help us out too much with our leveling, which is why I would recommend not to spend time doing your deeds whilst leveling up. However, they are really important when you're trying to do top tier content. And so that's why I would recommend doing them. If you wanted to do that content at the appropriate level, you would stop, do some deeds, get some virtues up, so you have these resistance and tactical mitigation stats at the ready. Now, why these two in particular? Well, there are two reasons. The first is they are not very common stats to find on pieces of gear. Armor and jewelry don't often have resistance or tactical mitigation on them, and if they do, it's usually not the best piece of gear that you could be using. And so, for that reason, you're going to end up with less resistance and tactical mitigation than you ideally need. Now, ideally, you would have tactical mitigation capped out, and you'd have resistance somewhere around 25 to 50%, I think is the number off the top of my head. But over 25% you want your resistance, definitely. And so to get these numbers, you're going to have to sacrifice some real power when you're equipping items. But hold your horses, this is where virtues come to the rescue. If you see here, we have the virtue discipline, sorry. It gives us 9 might, 89 resistance, and 29 physical mitigation. Now, the way that virtues work with their stat breakdown is they usually have 1 main stat, 1 secondary stat, and 1 tertiary stat, which means that the main stat will have quite a large bonus, the secondary stat will have a medium-sized bonus, and the tertiary stat will have a small bonus. And so they'll be tiered in that way. Now, I think might is the discipline, is the biggest might legacy, and so it has might as its main stat. So we might not even equip that at all. But if we have a look around, if I can remember what the other one was that gives might, it wasn't, valor, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Fortitude. Now, see, none of these give a decent amount of resistance or tactical mitigation, and instead we can see that honor gives quite a lot of resistance and some tactical mitigation. Some is better than none, and this gives full tactical. That's a main stat for tactical mitigation, fidelity. And so you can see that that the bonuses for tactical mitigation and resistance are quite large in proportion to the gear, while the bonuses for might and the other main stats, and especially offensive stats, are quite small in comparison to your gear. Let's finish this quest because we are going to ride back to Tindir after this, or even map home to Tindir. I think we'll level up to 36. There we go. Look at that. We've got ourselves a new quest, a new skill, Boast. And this is just a cosmetic skill. It makes everyone cheer who is around you. It's kind of fun.
What can I do for you?
Alright, let's finish off these quests just quickly, then we'll resume our
What do you need?
chat about
Might I take a moment
virtues. Right, so we're going back to Orcharway. Let's read our map home and head back there. Yes, as I was saying, you're going to get a bigger bonus with the defensive stats from your virtues, in particular resistance and tactical mitigation, than the offensive stats, like might, agility, will, and especially other things like finesse. Finesse doesn't even make an appearance on virtues. And so, my suggestion is to focus on tactical mitigation and resistance. Now, what's the priority? The priority is to max out your tactical mitigation, to get it capped. I can't remember exactly what the value is off the top of my head, but you don't get very much just from your gear. So, prioritize that, which means prioritizing fidelity, prioritizing honor, tolerance, which also has tactical mitigation as a main stat. What's the other one? There is another one. Mercy has quite a good amount. Compassion has a little bit. So there's, and innocence also. Innocence is a great one. Resistance, tactical mitigation, and physical mitigation. So you want to be finding that tactical mitigation and equipping that. So with that, I usually, in fact, only have the same 5 virtues on any character that I have when I've ground them out. And those are fidelity, definitely, for that tactical mitigation. You get a nice boost to vitality as well. So fidelity, honor, for the resistance and tactical mitigation, also vitality, all very useful. Then I would have, sometimes I'd have mercy for the tactical mitigation, depending on if I've reached cap or not. Otherwise, innocence is a great one for that physical and physical resistance and tactical. Tolerance is also a really good one for that large tactical mitigation bonus. And then if I haven't chosen mercy, then I definitely go with, if I can find it, charity or compassion, depending on what I need more of. Charity is really good for resistance, and so is confidence. So if you're a will-based class, confidence is pretty useful for you. But yeah, those are the main ones that I'd go for. Looking for resistance and tactical mitigation on any class, because every class needs to have those stats built up. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully it's useful information for you.
What do you need?
And hopefully it wasn't just completely boring for everyone else, but I'm sure it was very useful for everyone.
Do something for me?
We're going to get this quest that sends us to Ost Forod now, and we're going to head up there.
What can I do for you?
Speak to Orchawe. This is going to send us to Ost Forod, these quests. We're going to attempt to get some bit more experience today. Back to Kesley West.
What can I do for you?
Ost Forod, we're going off there. Okay. So yes, hopefully that all made sense. It is a difficult system to get your head around, and it's only after a bit of number crunching that I've come to that realization. It's held true for quite a few updates. Like, this is what I've been doing since Rise of Isengard, which I think was 2010, maybe 11. Yeah, so the aim is not to get your offensive stats, because offensive stats will be found on armor, weapons, jewelry. You're going to focus on those stats from those pieces of gear, but you can't neglect your resistance and tactical mit, and it's really hard to get those from your armor and jewelry without sacrificing the ability to have all that offense. And so, virtues are where you go. I would go to virtues for defensive stats. So hopefully that answers your question, how to know which 5 are best for your class. I would use, use your character sheet, figure out if you're at cap or not for those defensive stats, and work on those ones first. And then if you have reached the cap, or if you're at enough for your liking, then you can stop and maybe focus on some of the offensive stats for your class. So hopefully that all makes sense. We're just picking up some bounties from these wanted posters, and we're going to pick up all these quests here in Ost Forod. There are lots and lots for us to do. This guy, Pa Chopley, he's a hobbit who really wants to eat some pig meat. He's missing his bacon, but he hasn't seen a single boar in his time in Evendim. In fact,
this is intolerable.
There are no boars in Evendim. So this quest says, spend some time looking for boars in Evendim. All we have to do for this quest is to be in Evendim for half an hour, which we will be, since I'll be recording another episode straight after this. And so all we have to do is be in Evendim all this time. So we will
Why are you bothering
complete
me?
that quest in half an hour, approximately, which will be probably sometime in the next episode. Alright, so we're just picking up the rest of the quests here in Ost Forod. Lots of bounties. We're going to do the rounds and kill those the people who have bounties on their heads. And then we will also be doing quests around here. So let's put our home down here instead of High King's Crossing. Let's get Ost Forod as our home. Speak to Basil Gummidge. He's going to give us a quest to get 4 other quests.
Could I speak with you a moment?
And we'll speak to all these people around town. Rowena Parker. She talks to her about a bounty and a quest.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but will you help me?
Yeah, so there are lots of quests here in Ost Forod. We are going to aim for level 39, I think I decided. 39. And that will be when we pick up the next epic story book, which will be in Rivendell. So we will make our way back to Rivendell at level 39. Alright, so we've got all of the bounties now, and now we just need to talk to all the people that give us quests. I think we might end the episode out after we pick up all these quests. Next episode we'll go through all these quests and do them all. But I think this is a good time to finish up. Hopefully I've answered your question, Jason. If I haven't, or if you still have any questions about virtues, which ones to choose, make sure you leave them down in the comments and I'll get to them. And if anyone else has any questions, then make sure you too leave them down in the comments. I will definitely get to them in a video. Though if you've left them on any of the last 3 videos, then I won't get to them until next week. That's alright though. They will definitely get answered, do not worry. Okay, I think we've got all of the quests that we can get. Oh, we've missed one. Pretty sure it's over there. Yep, there it is on the map. can see that ring. So, we'll pick up this quest, go to a shop and repair our cloak, because that is damaged. Let's speak briefly about cloak damage. So, you see that all items have durability, all gear has item durability. 75 out of 90, 69 out of 80. Anytime you take damage, it's a chance that your durability will go down. If you die, it's a big hit to your durability. So, that's why our cloak is damaged, because we did unfortunately die during that little bug. If they are broken like this one was, or just damaged is the stance, it isn't actually any problem. There's no decrease in effectiveness. It's just a warning saying you really should repair this soon because it's about to break. If it does break, you don't lose the item, so don't worry too much about that. What does happen, is that you lose all the effectiveness of that item. So you cannot, no bonuses from that item will affect your character in combat anymore, which is not very, not ideal. And so you do want to make sure you're repairing your equipment often. But guys, that's going to be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. And if you have any questions, like Jason did about virtues, leave them in the comments section down below, and I'll be sure to get to them in a video. But as I said, any comments from the last couple of days, I will have to get to them next week. So don't worry if I'm not getting to them. I'll reply to your comment, and I'll make sure that I answer it in a video at a later date. If you guys are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks to all of you who have subscribed so far. And yeah, guys, that's going to be all for today. Tomorrow we will get into these quests here at Ost Forod. We're helping them get ready for winter, and so that will be helpful for our quest for 115. We hit level 36 today, and so we're one level closer to level 115. Alright, guys, that's going to be all. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it's been a pleasure playing with you, and I will see you tomorrow.